All right, everyone. So, welcome to Numerology lesson. Dr. Friesen here, and today's lesson is about the number five. So, continuing on with our children type explanation. When you have a 5-year old in the United States, what is happening with the 5-year old? The 5-year old is going off to school, which five in astrology is the fifth house, which is about children, school, lessons, learning, all those things. Okay. Side note. Now, the five in numerology is the adventurer. This person is going exploring new things, going off to school, meeting new people, learning new things, discovering things about themselves, such as, hey, it gets hot at school. I don't want to wear this jacket today. I don't want to wear these pants today. I don't want to wear these shoes today. Right? Discovering, self discovery, as well as discovering the world. And they discover the world by interacting with people, which means travel, brings about a sense of freedom in their life. Now, there's some apprehension that comes because most 5-year olds don't want to go to school at first. They don't want to leave home. Don't want to leave the comfort zone. So transitioning from 4 to 5, 4 is the home, the 5 leaves the home. The 5 goes and sees what's out there in the world. Now, part of this is good because when they go out exploring, they gain knowledge, right? And that knowledge normally makes them have a higher vibration, but there's knowledge that can make them have a lower vibration. In numerology, this 5 can be wanting to gamble, take risk. Some risks are good. I'm going to go to school today. That's the risk because they don't know what's going to happen at school, but they might meet a new friend, right? The senses become in, activated on so many levels because when you're at home, you're used to the same colors, the same people, the same smells. You go off to school, guess what you have? You have new friends. They don't look like you. Their hair is different. Their clothes are different. They speak differently. You know, you go to different countries, same thing. So now you're aware of other things that you weren't aware of before, which brings about knowledge through adventuring, high level. Other side is the 5 can be a little restless because what happens when they go to school? They get to run around and play, and sometimes they even take a nap. So when they come back home, they don't want to go to sleep. They want to run around and play, right? That energy exists in numerology, right? After you've gone and you've explored, it's kind of hard to come be back at home when you spent time in the big world. Another thing, as we transition from the 5 being the child to the 5 with the 0, meaning in our 50s, what do you see a lot of 50-year-olds doing? Traveling. 50-year-olds are being adventurous. They're getting closer to retirement. They're cruising. They're going here. They're going there. They're learning new things. Sometimes they're taking up a new hobby, right? Sometimes they're just go, 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 go. But it brings about an adult part of the number 5. Because the number 5 is tied to lower vibrations of addictions like gambling, sex, drugs, rock and roll, you also have that side of the energy that takes place. The person's into exploring different things and sometimes can waste their money that they've worked hard to save when they were in that number 4 energy of building, right? They can invest in new things because they're risk takers and sometimes can lose the money because they've made the wrong investment because they were very impulsive. They didn't do any research from the 4 or the 3, or even the 6. They didn't do research. They just did it. So the 5 can be impulsive. I'm quitting my job. And you're like, I'm selling the house and moving to Florida. You're like, impulsive, right? So sometimes the 5 can be what would be considered irrational. We say people have the midlife crisis starts in the 40s through the 50s, and that's part of the midlife crisis kind of energy from the number five. Now, it's the five, the person to go out and have a good time. If you want to go to Costa Rica, yeah. It's the five, the person that you want to retire with. Depends on what your goals are, right? If your goal is traveling and flying by the seat of your pants, that five energy can be there. Now, the person can be restless. So at some point, you might want to settle down, and they might not be into settling down. That might not be their bag. They might not want to get married or be in a committed relationship. They might want to be in an open marriage or open relationship. If that doesn't work for you, you have to move on. Okay. The five can be love them or leave them. And they can be thoughtless because a part of the five is a little bit selfish. It's me time, baby. How many times have you had an older person, your grandparents were like, I raised my kids. It's time for me. It's a little bit of selfish energy because in the 50s, you start thinking, wait, life is a little bit shorter than it once was. I want to get some things done while I still have a chance. Now, this is also about social groups because the fives, the kindergarten, now forming social groups. In the 50s, they're joining clubs and doing all kinds of things too. Let's think about the five from the angel number aspect. Five energy, 555, 55, 5555555, however many you see. It's a multiplication of the freedom expression. On a higher vibration, you might need to adventure and look at things in a new light. You might need to go get some experiences outside of your world, outside of your four walls of your home. You might want to have some joy and fun in your life, right? Or it could be a warning that you're having too much joy, too much fun, spending too much money, too much sex, drugs, rock and roll. Okay. So you got to look at the context. When you see the angel numbers, you should always relate it to what has been transpiring in your house. Of course, you know my angel numbers are a little bit more different than that because if you see two fives, it's not the same as if you see four fives, right? The number of fives that you see represents the universe saying, listen, I'm talking to you, right? Two fives is kind of like, hey, go on that trip. Four fives is like, hey, stop. You've been on too many trips. Go earn some money, right? Balance. Okay. So whenever you're looking at numbers, understand where you are in your cycle. Are you the child, the adventurer just going off to school? Are you the 50-year-old, 50 plus something, learning new hobbies, traveling the world? Are you the young person who has that five energy, that restless energy, sex, drugs, and rock and roll? All right. Where do you fit in this? Okay. I love numbers. Okay. Five and as your maturity number, it's great for traveling and seeing the world and being free and happy and exploring. It could be great if you're financially able to do it if you have a life path as a pinnacle number. It can be great in earlier parts of your life. It's not great if you don't have the money to match the desire. All right. And five is a money number, by the way. It's very good for business, for careers. Businesses based on the number five normally are very successful because it's risky. They take risk. Good risk is taken after research. Bye.